just a bit of cleaning before grouting, and it's just down to the detail, just going around and making sure that there's no glue, removing all the glue. And I've used Prep Multi and it comes off fairly easily, and I have tried to work fairly clean, but I want to get all this off before I grout. And I'm just taking it out of the grout lines, and it just comes down to looking at it very closely. I'm lucky I've got good light here, so I can just scratch it off. Now I've got iridized glass here in this piece, and I'm not concerned about scratching it. I'm not digging at it this way, I'm always going at it from an angle, and so far I haven't scratched any, and I don't have an issue with the epoxy grout. It doesn't scratch either, but even if I was using sanded grout, I've never had a problem with it scratching iridized glass. So this is what I'm doing, and then when I finish this to my satisfaction, I'll grout. Now I'm going to mix up some brown, some mocha coloured grout, just to go in my leaf veins here, down here, and maybe a little bit along here. So I won't need very much grout. So I'm using the Litokol StyleGrout Tech, and I'm just going to mix it a little wetter than I would normally, because I want to actually apply it with a paintbrush. And those of you who know how I work would know that I tend to mix my grouts normally on the drier side, because it helps with avoiding grout bleed. But for this particular exercise, you can see that it's a little bit wetter. So I'm just going to mix that up, and there's only a small amount there. I've just used not a heap spoonful, but just, and you can see just how very smooth this is. No lumps, no nothing. This is the most beautiful grout to use. And I'm just going to paint it on just with a little paintbrush. So once it's slaked, I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back, and now I'm just going to apply my grout. It's beautiful and smooth and fully slaked, and as I said, wetter than normal. So I'm just going to apply it with a paintbrush and just paint it into these lines where I want them to be. And I don't want very much, which is why I'm doing it this way. And I don't want it to go elsewhere. Like I just put it. But that's neither here nor there. It's only a little piece to move out. I'll just get that out. And so that's that one. And now I've just got a little one up here. Sorry, I'm just concentrating. Do that occasionally. It's the only way to get me to shut up. then I'm just going to move to this one here. So this is just a way to get it into the pieces where you want it to be and nowhere else. Now I'm going to do a little bit down here around this tree branch as well, because I want to simply. And now I'm just checking to see whether there's anywhere else I want it to be. I don't think so. I might just put a little bit in his feet, and for that I might just use a little bit of a paddle pop stick. I'll use the paintbrush again. I probably should should have grabbed a smaller paintbrush if I'd thought of it. There, so I shall just let that haze over a little, and again I shall be back. Okay, so now I'm going to start cleaning up. I've just cleaned up this little leaf here, so you can see that you get a nice brown vein through it. I'm just using it's a very dirty old rag. It's just about had its life, and I have a little tiny container of water and a toothbrush in case I get it into places that I don't want it to be, and a little poker to get it out with if I need. So here I go, just cleaning this leaf off, and it's just like you would do any normal grout. You just wipe it off, but I'm trying very hard not to get it into the other cracks, and to leave it in the, obviously, that central stem line. So I'm just being a little bit careful. Of course my vision lets me down a bit, but anyway, I'm going to have to just turn this around so I can see it a bit more clearly. Sorry. I'm just wiping it off that glass. I just want it in that central vein area. See, now I've got a little bit here, so I can flip that out because it's not stuck. That's what I want. So don't want it in there because that's where the translucent grout will be going. In fact, I'm going to get that with my tweezers because it cannot. Yeah, it's just take my glasses off and peer at it. There we go. I will give the frame a sand once it's grouted too, just to make sure that any stains and blemishes on it are removed. I know I've got a bit of glue stuck on the frame, which is something I can remove when I sand it. But there, that's the central vein there. Now I'm just going to do this one. Yes, it's still in your view. There we go. This is not glued in, it's not stuck in. It will actually probably come out like so, which it has done. Now, I'm just going to work down here where the feet are for a minute, and that's just about it done. And then once that's dry, I will grout with the translucent grout. And I shall be back when that's done. Hi again. So my brown leaves have dried, and now I'm going to grout with the Litokol translucent grout. Now I've just loaded up a grout calculator for the epoxy grout, and it's telling me, it's free by the way, and it's telling me that for this piece, which is 250 millimeters square, I need 96.9 grams of grout, which is 90.8 of the paste and 6.1 grams of the hardener. So I have measured that out, and I'm just about to mix that and apply it. So here it is measured out, and I've just got to stir it up. There's not a lot there. That's all you need. I have a bucket of water, it's clean water, and a clean scouring pad. And so you don't need to let this slake, you just mix it and plop it. It's pretty easy. And that calculator should give me about the right amount. Now you'll notice that I haven't taped off my frame, because as I said, I'm going to have to sand it because it's got a bit of gunk on it. So all I do is I just rub it around with my fingers. I'm just going to sit down and get to it. It's pretty easy. Now the areas where I have grouted with the brown grout, I'm going to go straight over them with this translucent grout, because that means I don't need to worry about sealing it, so which is a good thing, because the less steps you have to do, the better, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm just going to put it all on there and just rub it in. That's all you have to do. Not hard. Very easy. Very easy product to use, this. I love it. Now, if there is an odour, I won't say that it's fume free, but it's not strong, and it shouldn't be too unpleasant. It's a lovely day here. I've just got the door open. I haven't got a mask on, nothing of that nature. I will have to move the piece because I'm as blind as a bat and I can't see. So hopefully it's still in frame. Let me have a look. Yep, it's still in frame for you to see what I'm doing. And I'm just filling in the bits. So that's a bit of a boo-boo. So I will just carry on over the top of my piece. It goes an incredibly long way, I find, this grout as well. And you don't, well, I don't leave a lot on the surface. I sort of clean off as I go, but then that has become my habit even when using cement grout, cementitious grout, because I'm a great believer in making things as simple as I can. And so that's what I'm doing. Now this one is very easy to grout because there is no filati like the last bird, unlike the last bird that had filati sticking up, which is sharp. This one doesn't. So it's a pretty straightforward matter to grout this. And this product is extremely easy to use. And I'm just making sure that I'm putting it into all the little divots and holes, because you really, once you start cleaning it off with water, you can't go back and add it in, because you've actually, the water forms can form a potential fault line because it's actually cleaning off the grout. So you've got to cover in all the holes before you start applying the water for cleanup. But as you can see, I'm not leaving any on the surface. I'm rubbing it all in. It's an expensive product. I'll make no bones about that. It is what it is. So I'm a great believer in minimising the amount of wastage. So that's why I created the grout calculator for you all. It's free. You can download it from my website. And it's very easy. You can either put your measurements in inches or millimetres, and it will come out with, in the case of inches, it will tell you how many ounces of grout you need in total and the split between the two parts A and B. And if you're using millimetres, it will tell you in grams. So, which is really terrific. It's just a little Excel spreadsheet, but I think it's pretty easy. You just download it, save it on your website, on your computer. There's no expiry date on it. You don't have to re-download it. You just have to download it once and it's yours to keep. Now I'm just going to scrape off the bulk when I'm just going through making sure I've got all the holes covered in, which I think I have, but I'll just go through. I just like to do a pretty close check and scrape off as much as I can with my fingers. You don't have to wear gloves. I quite often don't, but And in fact, for part of the process, the cleaning, I do like to actually remove my gloves because I need to feel to make sure that I've got all the emulsified grout off, because that's what will make it sticky, and I don't like sticky. I don't do sticky. But for this part of it, I'm just gonna, and you can see that it just makes it, it looks a bit cloudy, but that goes away, but it gives that beautiful painterly finish on your work. So if you don't want your piece to have strong black grout lines, this is the grout to use. There are people who colour it with pigment. I certainly don't recommend that. If you must colour it, I can't see the point really, but if you must colour it, if you've got dark areas, you can do what I did. You can undergrout with cement grout, and as you saw with my previous little video, I painted it on with a paintbrush. I made it quite runny. And there have been, as I said, people who colour it. If anything, if you need to colour it, I would use maybe a resin colourant rather than a grout, than a cement colourant, because it's not a cement product. Now, in all my talking communications about this product, I say it goes white, and you can see that here. It is going a whitish colour, and I'm not using any great pressure here at all, very light. But what that's doing is it's causing the extra grout to emulsify, and it basically comes away because the grout has an inbuilt cleaner in it, and it is water soluble. So I can feel there's no stickiness on there. And so this is where, you know, all the shards are, and I might get a bit of, you know, furring from the scourer, but the green kitchen scourers that are common, if you use those, you get an awful lot more. They're a bit stiffer. Now, I've got to that point, I'm just going to squeeze it out well, and start wiping it off. Lightly. Everything with this product is lightly. You don't use force. You don't need to, you know, drag it out, scrub it. None of that. That's just not part of the vocabulary that you need to employ when working with this product. Everything's gentle about it. It's really gentle. It's a great product to use. Now, I admit I have a vested interest in it because I sell it, but I wouldn't sell it if I didn't like it, and I do. I love it. And I'm happy to help and advise anybody who has issues with it. It's getting quite warm here, actually. Yeah. So I'll just go away and do a bit of a clean-up, I think, because you don't want to sit here and watch me do this all day. Not that it's going to take me all day, it's going to take very little time, but you can already see how it's coming up. But I do need to peer at it more closely. So I'll be back. So now I've applied the grout and removed the bulk of it, and I'm just going to do a bit of a detailed clean-up just with a little scratchy watchy. Now, you might have heard me mention when I was going through here, oh, there's a bit of a boo-boo. What that was I'd stupidly left a bit of texture on there, or Sharpie marking, but I've been able to, it's just come off, it's come away with the cleaning of the grout anyway, so it's not a big problem. So all I'm doing now is just with my squeezed out, wrung out, very wrung out sponge, and my little thing here, I'm just going through, as you would with any grout, and just cleaning. I'm just removing anything that I think is not where I want it to be, as you need to do with every grout. And this is normally where I take my gloves off so that I can make sure that it's not sticky. See, that's white, that's emulsified grout, that's all that is. See that? That's emulsified grout. Just get rid of it. You just need to get rid of that. Now, if anything, these small shardy pieces are going to be more difficult to clean than anything else, and you know what? They're not difficult. I will get a piece of paper just to, like absorbent towel rather, to mop some of this up in a minute, I think, because it's pretty much done. Lovely little fella. Now, I realise that this green glass that I've used as a background may not be to everybody's choice, liking, but I just thought I quite like the brightness that it gave, and it gives him the appearance of being in the forest. But it's not a dull colour, it's quite bright, but I don't think it takes away from the bird. Well, that's my opinion anyway. Everybody's choices, everybody's ideas are different. But I'll just go and get a paper towel, and I shall remove or actually I'll get a microfiber cloth, that's better, and I shall remove my gloves so I can feel. This is the part where I said I like to feel my way around. So I just wipe it off and I feel, make sure that there's no stickiness. I hear people say, oh, this stuff's sticky. Yeah, right, okay. I've never had it sticky in my life. It's not sticky. It's just a pleasure to work with. So I'm just very lightly, yeah, there's no sticky there. No stickiness at all. And let me have a look. Looks nice and clean, I think. Yeah, and so what you can see, what it does is, where before there was a definite gap around here between the bird and the edge, and there was a gap here, it's filled that in. It has taken that away. You can still see these grout lines here, but they're certainly not prominent. So I am very happy with the end result, and you saw just how long it took, not very at all.